Welcome back to the next episode of Unplugged. Today I am joined with Tom Capper, who is the Senior Search Scientist at Stats Search Analytics. So Tom, do you want to kick off and tell us a little bit about you and your role at Stats?
Yeah, I've been at Moz and Stat. So Moz and Stat are the same brand. Stat is our enterprise analytics platform, or rank tracking basically. This is my 4th year now at Moz and Stat. Before that, I worked at Distilled, an agency in the UK, for about 8 years. And yeah, my job basically is obviously a lot of the engineers that we have and the data scientists and this kind of thing aren't necessarily from a search or SEO background. So my job is to kind of form that bridge between the subject matter and some of what we're building and the product and how it works and that kind of thing. And indeed what we want to innovate towards and what we're aiming at in the future.
Yeah, amazing. So what are the most common SERP features and how do they vary by search intent?
If you sort of look down the funnel, like at an informational sort of intents, like right at the top of the funnel, you see a lot of big above the fold features. So you get things like feature snippets, knowledge graph, often PAA in position, people also ask in position 2 or 3. And recently AI overviews as well, we're seeing those mainly in the US and mainly of informational queries right now, unlike the sort of beta, which was more broad. Then you get down to sort of commercial or consideration queries, where you see things like discussion forums, popular product boxes, image carousels, this kind of thing. Go a bit down, further down still, transactional, and you've got more, Google map packs. You've got find results on. You get a lot of ads as well. So yeah, it varies hugely as you work your way down. What we've tried to advise sort of our customers to look for in recent years is not only what features are sort of possible for or popular or common for the keywords they're looking at, but also which ones are actually possible to compete in, right? Like there's a big gap between the kind of features where you actually can appear in them, say sort of feature snippet, for example, that is winnable, versus something like a knowledge graph box at the top, which for most businesses is not something they're going to actually be able to make their way into. Sort of look at it like that. And if there are cases where you think the dominant features are things you can't appear in, then there's obviously the flip side, right, where you should be filtering and looking for keywords where they're not present.
How do you measure the success of an SEO campaign that targets multiple search intents?
There's a few ways of looking at it. So I would personally always encourage people to break out this kind of thing. Frankly, not just in terms of measuring the success of your SEO campaigns, but your measurement and forecasting in general. We're having a conversation recently around the Moz site where it's like, okay, we want to be able to forecast our traffic and conversions into the future. We've got some parts of the site that are growing faster than others, but they're much more informational parts of the site. Things like our learning center, for example, versus obviously the more commercial parts of the site, which might be growing at a different rate, but they're obviously much closer connected to people fulfilling goals or converting on the site. So yeah, it's a bit of a, I think you have to always break this out, and Stat is a rank tracking platform, and it's more true than anywhere for rank tracking. You need to have this sort of division between what kinds of keywords you're going for, and look at that separately for different to different parts of the funnel or different kinds of content, this kind of thing. Because frankly, you're going to care about them different amounts. You're going to have different goals. Like maybe if you're producing informational content, what you're basically looking for is impressions on some level. And then there'll be other types of content where you really need people to click through and make a conversion. So that also comes into what we were saying just now with features. So we encourage people to think about not just rankings, but also to contrast, their organic rank with their sort of overall rank, including features, and their sort of share of voice. So, if you can capture multiple features as well as the organic rank on the same search result, even better.
Yeah, no, definitely. And to finish up, how do you think AI is going to impact the future of SERPs?
We've been talking a lot, or the industry, has been talking a lot about AI in the last couple of years, of course, just like everyone else. Google has had this tech for a long time. Google SERPs have been heavily AI driven since 2012, 2013, something like this. And I don't think they ever wanted to get to the point of actually putting AI written content in the search results, and their hand has kind of been forced in the last couple of years. And you can tell even now, the SGE test and now these AI written results, by Google standards, they're a bit of a half-hearted product, right? They're not great. There's a lot of misinformation. They're sort of just bodged onto the top. It doesn't look like they're going to be legal in the EU. This is really messy. So I'm really not sure what their end result is going to be. I feel like they've been forced to do what they've done so far in reaction to Bing, who've frankly done it a lot better. But what we've seen so far is that Google has moved towards showing them more sparingly and primarily for these informational queries, and that kind of makes sense. Google ultimately makes money by sending traffic to websites. That's what pay-per-click is. So they don't want to cannibalize on the kind of queries where they were getting high-value pay-per-click ads, these sort of commercial and transactional queries. So they're playing a lot in this informational space with the AI written results. I still think they have to change a lot from what they're doing now, or at least improve it greatly. But I think that's probably where you're going to see that play. Personally, I'm quite bullish. A lot of people are talking. I'm quite bullish for SEO. A lot of people are talking about, ChatGPT is going to replace search engines, and SEO should be focused on ChatGPT. I think, don't get me wrong, there are existential threats to Google right now, but I think the interfaces like ChatGPT are not it. There's a big gap between everything you use a search engine for and the things that I personally would use something like ChatGPT for. So there is going to be a lot of change, but it's not quite as night and day as I think some people are envisaging.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was super interesting. Thank you so much, Tom, and we'll see you next time.